Hi there, this is the Vic Tats podcast. This is a podcast about tatting, not the skin and ink kind of tatting, but the needle, shuttle, and thread kind of tatting. So if you're taking off your shirt to show me something, you can put it back on. I also talk about cross stitch and other crafts I'm doing, like crochet and all that stuff. I just thought what I would do is talk a little bit about what I've been doing lately. And the first thing is that, and I think I told you this the last time, but I posted on my blog a little pumpkin pattern. Now the thing is so it's on my blog victats.blogspot.com. The thing is I was a little disappointed in myself because I also have an edging pattern that I wanted to share, but I didn't get a chance to proof and put up, so that will still be coming. And the thing about this is it can stack on top of each other, so you can have rows, but similar pattern, slightly altered to make it so that it is a pumpkin patch. And then the other thing, I didn't make this time, but I did have out as part of my Halloween decoration. Sorry, I'm using sketchbook as my background. Is a, the sugar skulls. I had made up a bunch of them and never, okay, so I think that skulls without eyes are super, super spooky. And if you ever watch Pan's Labyrinth, there's the creature and the thing that has to do this to see. I think that thing is the spookiest thing ever, okay? So not blind, no eyes. No eyes is weird. No eyes whatsoever. So if you have a skull with no eyes, that means there was never any eyes to begin with. Anyways, so I find that super creepy. And I think that's been informed by some video games and all that stuff. I don't know if it was Doom or Resident Evil. Resident Evil was originally called is it Contagion? No. I can't think of the original video game. Anyways, that's what I did. And I did these in size, when I have them in all different sizes, but I like to do this kind of thing in size 3 thread, and then I just put it out as table kind of decorations or doilies or confetti, however you want to think about it. That's how I do it. And you know what I realized? I didn't give my niece and nephew, I almost always give them something for Halloween. That's tatted. The other thing that I had made a long time ago, had written out the pattern and was meaning to share but never shared. Okay, sweetheart, it's gotta thaw. Stop it. Stop it. Do you see my little dog back there? Here, let me move. So, here. So that's my little dog, Lucky. He's right here. So here he is. Do you see him? Do you see this dog? Last week, he was on deathbed. Like last Sunday night, he couldn't sleep. He was crying. I couldn't sleep. He cried all night. I thought, honestly, I was going to have to take him to the vet. And I thought something serious was wrong with him. Now, do you see him now? Nothing wrong. But he's freaking out because there's a thawing roast. It's not really roast beef. It's like round eye, whatever. But it's a roast. Half of one, because I cut them in half and then put it in I have an air fryer. Anyways, he's freaking out because he thinks I should give it to him. Look at him, he's gonna get really upset, so we're gonna ignore him. However, okay. Anyways, so this is supposed to be a coffin, and I did a version where there's afterwards you stitch and rip. So that will be at some point. I know it looks like other things too, but we're not gonna talk about that. Like a baby bottle, right? I had also meant to do, I started one and never got back to it. But I'd done some of the pumpkins. This is what the pumpkin in the vine looks like when without its vine. But I was making a bunch of those because then they could be like, the blue pumpkins, like the blue and the white pumpkins, and do like a whole row of them. You know where that goes sometimes with me. But anyways, so I am going to share that pattern, and our job will then be, sorry to be late to the party, and then our job communally will be to test tat it. Okay. What other tatting have I done? Well, I've still failed to figure out which one. There's this other thing I've got to do, which I have failed to do, which is hide some ends for another thing. I made a little pumpkin, crocheted pumpkin, which is really, it's off the internet, and it's a super easy pattern because all you do is you're doing what in Canada we call, North America we call a single crochet, but I think it's called a double crochet in the UK. And then you go through the back loops on each way, so then that creates almost like a ribbing, and then when you do it out like this, it can shape. Now I meant to get a stick to put in here, or a cinnamon stick or something like that. Had a whole big jar of them before my house burned down. Anyways, so I never did. So here he is. There's my half-done pumpkin. On the other hand, he makes it really cute. Making a bunch of these in all different kinds of Christmas colors would make some really cute ornaments for the Christmas tree, which I might end up doing. And then, so those are the tatting things I did for Halloween, or that I use for Halloween. I also have a couple other patterns that I just run out of time. Like, I don't know what happens. One minute I have nothing to do, and then the minute I make a plan, I turn around and there's all these other things to do. Anyways, I don't know what I do with my life. But what was I gonna say? I have set it up so I can make, I showed this last year, because I'm doing another cross stitch exchange. So I'm gonna make another little pocket with the tatting around. So I have set that up, and I just use that, you know, the fusible webbing, but there's a name for it. If I said it, you would know it. But both sides can be ironed together. And then I come around with just a simple kind of chain to kind of sew it together and make it pretty. So I've done that. That's all set up. I haven't started it yet because I don't know. I wish I had a gold, but then that would be fussy. So like it doesn't lay very nice and all that stuff. And I don't think any red. So I'm gonna look for red. If I don't have any red thread, then I found some gray thread that I think I can get away with. Okay, it wouldn't be very festive then. But okay, so then that's what I've done. So then for that, oh, sorry, let me go get it because this is really cute. Okay, so for my cross stitch exchange, what I did make was a couple things. One, this is the actual exchange item that I'm giving her. Now, and I haven't made the stocking part yet, but I've done the cross stitch for the other one. I think I might have to compromise on how much goes into this thing. But look, it's a little stocking. It's a Blackbird design that was in the Just Cross Stitch magazine one of the years. Now, okay, I gotta tell you something. There's no blue or pink or anything in this. I don't know why. I think that this is the backing that goes with it. Like, this is the backing that goes with this. I don't know why. But in my head, that was the best. That was the one that I thought went. So I put a little blue button to kind of make the backside cute on its own. And then I used some, I don't know what this stuff is called, but chenille or whatever that I had from another project made. Because I was trying to make, there's these stuffed amigurumi animals called grim grinning goats that make, like, you know, a Baphomet. But my Baphomet turned out really top heavy, and I don't think I stitched it together right. So my horns can't go on without going tunk over. So anyway, so that's why it's not together, because but it was something. Hopefully I'll be able to show you a complete. Anyway, so this is what I've shoved in there to go in there with it. But yeah. And if you can imagine how many times you can stitch something with the wrong sides together is absolutely, like, with not the correct sides together, so you can turn it inside out, you'd be surprised. So I had a little bit of issues with that. Now I made myself another one of these, but I can't find the mold right now that I had made for it, because what I was gonna do is I was gonna make the two, and then whatever one looked the nicest is the one I'd send to her. And this little bear came in one of the grab bags from one of the tatting, I'm pretty sure it's the finger like tatting seminars. But okay, so I made that, and then for some reason I was in a massive letter mood, which I never like to cross stitch letters, and I made this, and I was going to give it to her, so I wanted to put it into something, so I made it into a little. The thing I like about Ada is that when you want to finish Ada, you can just do this little kind of unraveling thing, and it kind of stays like that. And then I stitched it on, so you can see I stitched it on, and then put it together like this. And I forgot to bring them home, but at my cottage I've made some stick pins to go in there, like counting pins. So, and then there's some other stuff, bunch of other stuff I'm giving her, but that was what I made. And then that little envelope thingy will go in there with it. And I had originally thought that I would be using these beads to make a trim on something for her, but I'm not. So I thought I would give them to her because I bought them for her thing. So anyways, I'm super proud. The stocking looks, it doesn't look as good on the thing as it does in person. It looks super cute in person. And then she likes purple, and this is kind of a purpley magneta. But it's the thing my perfume came in, so I thought I'd just put it in this box for the person that's getting it. I have to mail that out in the next, well, I have to mail it out at some point. Okay, so the next stuff I'm going to show you is all the cross-stitch stuff I made for Halloween. And it turns out I'm no better at following instructions on cross-stitch than I am on, with tatting. Okay, so the last one I made was this. It is from, and it's got this background. This is a vintage background that my friend gave me, that her mother had, and her mother passed away. I haven't closed the ends yet, and I don't know, I might put a white trim on this. I haven't decided yet. But there's the boo. I really, really love it. I just love it. The little white house is from my house that, oh, by the way, is finally torn down. They have finally torn down my old house, and there's nothing where it used to be. So it's just a big hole. Well, there's not even a hole really. It's hardly an indent because they smoothed it out. Because they're gonna have a weed problem because it's on bedrock, and I'm just not sure how easy. Anyways, not sure how easy it is going to be for them to make a crawl space, but whatever. And I didn't do the colors that they called for, but I did the ones that I thought would look cute. And I hand dyed, Brit dyed this Ada, and it's like a crunchy Ada. You know, the kind of people you either love or you absolutely hate, right? I don't like flimsy Ada. I like the crunchy stuff because I would prefer to stitch in hand when it comes to something like this. Anyways, this is from Just Cross Stitch magazine, the Halloween edition. I don't know which year. I've bought in every year that they have online that you can purchase online from like 2013 or something forward, just because I just love it. I love them. Anyways, I thought this was super cute. I really love it. I had thought about doing it as a finish, like doing kind of like a flat finish and putting it on top of a book or something like that, because it looks like a book cover kind of, but then I thought, well, no, I like it. And I have a bowl that's full of, my friend gets these really nice Chinese lanterns growing, like the really nice ones. So I had gotten a whole bunch from her, and I put them in a bowl there. This one, the pumpkins actually originally started from, modeled after the Pinker and Punkerton one, which Pinker and Punkin blog spot. And she does a lot of free cross stitch patterns and quilting patterns, actually, if you're into quilting and embroidery. So she's just really super talented person. And I had started making this. I did a little purple and gray on the back. I didn't end up, I made most of this right, but then when I stitched on the face, I just did the face a little bit differently. And then I looked at it and thought, you know what? Looks like it needs to have a bottom. So I took the pumpkin from whatever was the design, I don't know. I think there was maybe a crow on top of it or something. And then I kind of freehanded the bottom so it looked like a little tray. And I was gonna put a whole bunch of other stuff with it, but then I thought, no, I thought he was really cute like this. This one is is my Pumpkin King. He actually started off as and I think, you know, some of my stitching here, if you looked at it, probably wasn't completely right because I did a lot of it in the evening, but he started off as the Priscilla, like the Housewives of Cross Stitch. They do when they do little series, they'll put at the end, the last one of a series, they'll often put a bonus pattern. And this was started off the bottom pumpkin of this really cute bonus pattern that had like stacked pumpkins with a pumpkin head cat at the top. And that's what it was going to be, but I made so many mistakes in through here. I was like, no. So then instead I made him into a little pumpkin king, because this is kind of like his little crown there. So that's my pumpkin king. And then I just safety pinned on a little bit of twine on there. I thought it looked kind of cute. I've tried to make rusted safe. Okay, so my friend's father was a dry cleaner. We had to close the store this summer because he got very sick, and so there's all these boxes of safety pins that are stainless steel. I was trying to get, not these ones, but I tried to make a bunch of rusted ones for my exchange recipient, but I don't think it worked the way I thought it was gonna. Anyways, okay, so then this last one was supposed to start off as spooky time, I think. It was originally a Lizzie Kate thing, and she had put little tiny buttons here for the O's. And then I had done it, and it says Spooky Girl, by the way. And then I thought, well, no, and the star came on as the original pattern, but I thought, no, I really wanted to say Spooky Girl. I don't know why, I can't tell you why. So I had went back and looked at some of the other Lizzie Kate patterns and kind of mimicked their lettering, and then added a little ghost in there. I freehanded that ghost. Anyways, I thought it was really cute, but the funny thing about this is that when I did it, and I started, I'd given way more space, and so when I cut here, I didn't want it too big, so I didn't give extra space. So I'm still thinking that I'm gonna find something to kind of pin down here, maybe sew on some buttons or something, just to kind of whatever. But for me, if you look at my stuff, things are never centered properly, but then when you stuff it, you can't really tell anyways. So I'm not a really great seamstress. I'm an indifferent seamstress. I think I'm an indifferent cross stitcher and an indifferent seamstress. Couldn't care less. Now, I have not filled in the bottoms of any of these, because for a couple reasons. Oh yeah, you see this? This thing kind of goes wink, because is it this one? Yeah, a couple of them I kind of went off. Like I do draw out a thing, but then sometimes, you know, stuff happens. What I'm gonna say is, plus it's just for me, so it doesn't matter. I might put some trim on them. I don't know, because I don't know that they really need any kind of, I don't know. I'll worry about that next year. I'll put them when after today. Then what? Like today's Halloween. What I will likely do is take all my Halloweenish stuff and put it away till next year. Like put it away, so that it can be carried. I'm either going to put it away in a box so that it can be taken as part of my boxes to my house when it's finished building, because hopefully, fingers crossed, by this time next year it will be done. Not that I don't love this neighborhood's phenomenal. Or I'm gonna take it to my cottage and store it there. The other thing I might do today is, I had way back in August, I thought I needed to go buy a whole bunch of these because I thought I was gonna paint a bunch of them, because I had done a Halloween card exchange, and I was gonna paint these and put them in the exchange. And then I thought, well, I don't know, I ran out of ambition. So I have a bunch of these, and I have some black fusion paint. So I might paint those today and make myself a little garland to go out with my little, I have a very simple Halloween display, because my neighbors have like fancy ones. I just have a very simple one, so people know I'm actually going to give out candy. I have no idea how much candy to that I need to have, so I'm just gonna, and when it's gone, it's gone. I bought 400 pieces. Okay, but they're tiny pieces, so I like to give a handful. So hopefully that'll be enough. Who knows? What else am I gonna tell you? Anyway, so I may or may not paint it, but I had seen on Stitching in the Light with Cynthia Brew, which is a cross stitch, what do they call this, floss tube, on on YouTube. She actually, her daughter had made them very similar, made a garland out of them, and so that's what I'm if I get the chance, because I have the jute as well, like the twine. It's funny, depending on where you are, everybody calls this something a little bit different. Then if I get the ambition, I'll do that. If I don't have the ambition, then I won't do it. And then I just have them for next year, and that's fine. but she'd done them, and then she had them. She had a main thing, and then she had them hanging down, and then she had little pieces of fabric, like the black and white check or the black and orange check. And so I thought if I did that, then I would do it with little pieces of like Halloween ribbon, because I bought Halloween ribbon in August because I freaking love Halloween. The other things I did is I don't know if you saw at the Dollar Tree, they had the pumpkin wreath molds, and I had done those and did the jute around them with I did one for me and one for my mom. I didn't do one for my sister because she's a big Grinch when it comes to Halloween, even though they always dress up at work as part of their thing, and they always have they always do like a group costume and everything, but she doesn't really do Halloween. So, and then what I'm gonna do is after today, I'm just gonna, like I said, put all this stuff away and pull it out next year. I was really tempted to buy some other stuff at Michael's, but then I have to move it. So I'm just like, oh, yep. So if things work out, then I will be posting a pattern in the next couple of days. If it works out, it'll happen today. It may not happen today. It may happen in a couple of days. But that's my summary of that. What else have I done? I was trying to show you everything I've done, but to be honest, all of that stuff was most of what I did. And this weekend, okay, sorry. I'm like, why did I do that? I'm trying to think what I did this weekend. So this weekend I also started to make a toque off of, I can't think of the name, it's a YouTube tutorial. But basically, again, it's like a ribbing thing, and you're doing a long sleeve, and then you're sewing it together and pulling it in to make the top. So that's what I was doing at the cottage on the weekend. But the other thing, sorry, I totally forgot to tell you about, was I started to make a baby blanket for my friend, because I was almost done. Not almost, I had a lot more to do, I think. I don't know. My house burned down. So I would like to, at some point in time, before this child gets old enough to drive a car, to actually give her a blanket, because she's one of those people that's your friend, that's my friend, but we don't always spend time together or anything, and it's a big deal, because it's a big deal for her to have a baby and all that stuff, so she's super excited, and she's a good mom. Anyway, so, and these things are nice, and her parents aren't well enough to do that kind of stuff for her. Anyways, okay, I think I taught her to drive, I can't remember. My intentions is if I haven't missed the due date, then I'm going to sign up. There's a Christmas, and then one more Christmas exchange. I have to watch the floss tube again, apparently, because I can't seem to find it. There's one that, I think it's called Sandy Stitches. She's doing an ornament exchange as well. Not like with gift or anything. This is a different one. But so if I do that, then I'm actually gonna start cross stitching. And I haven't really worked very much. I worked a little bit on my little Christmas house. That was a Dimensions cross stitch. But other than that, I haven't really worked on those very much. I did buy myself in the summer some dimension kits, and I wrapped 2 of them up for my birthday. One is not a dimensions kit, one is like an RTO kit, and one is, I'm pretty sure, a dimensions kit. So I've wrapped those up, so that's what I'm gonna have for my birthday, which is on November 10th. So that's the only real plan I have, to unwrap them and maybe cross stitch a bit on them, but maybe not. And then I'm going to do, like I said, I think I started to say some Christmas cross stitch, and then some Christmas tatting and all that stuff. Which I have to go to the dollar store and buy the little gems that I use for that. Because I think I'm gonna, if you look back to one of the I Wish I Was at Palmetto Tat Days, I think that's the one. There's a couple ones where I had done, tatting around a little gem, and so I think that I'm going to make a bunch of those to give away. That's what I think. Who knows if it'll actually happen. And then, like I said, I'm going to take all the decorations down that are Halloween, put them away, and then after in Canada, we always wait till after Remembrance Day, and then I'll put out I'll start doing Christmassy stuff. So, and the thing is I do have a Christmas tree at the cottage. I like having a Christmas tree at the cottage because that's where I do most of my Christmas. So I might buy a Christmas tree. I might not. Like for here, I don't know. I've already got a little tiny one from the Dollar Tree because they had $1. But if they end up having more at the Dollar Tree, then I think what I will likely end up doing is just making a bunch of little tiny trees and not worrying too much about a big tree. But I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, that's a problem for tomorrow. All right. What else did I want to tell you? I wanted to encourage you to look here on YouTube for different patterns. There's a lot of free patterns that are done on YouTube. One person that comes to mind is Maikaito, Maimikaito. She does a lot of free kind of tutorials, and they're all very beautiful. And then the online tatting class, if you sign up for them and so that you get notified, it's volunteer driven. So sometimes the volunteers have things happen in their lives that they can't do it. But then if you have the subscribe and the notification, then you'll know when they do one. And what they do is they walk you through different patterns, and it's a good way to see a lot of different types of tatting, and a very diverse kind. And they use a lot of you also get exposed to a lot of different types of patterns. So, and that used to be run by Georgia Sites, but now it's changed hands, and now they're on YouTube, so that's pretty good. With Tammy, I didn't say, but with Tammy, I think she at the head, directing things. So it's a big job to take on. And then also on Instagram, if you hashtag tatting and tatted lace and blah blah blah, there's just a whole bunch of free patterns on there too. Now remember, be respectful, okay? And adding beads to an existing pattern does not make it your pattern, that kind of stuff. But you can tell what changes you did and what modifications you did. That's fine. You can find the pattern here, and then here's what I did to change it. Those things are always okay. Or like, this is where I added beads. Anyways, all right. I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to wish you happy tatting and happy Halloween. Okay. Cheers.